Hi there, I'm Bruce Clarke. Happy to be here at the Gene Youngblood Memorial and really honored to have a chance to talk briefly about my encounter with Gene Youngblood. Unlike so many of the speakers already today and yet to come, I didn't interact with Gene at the time of expanded cinema or in the following decades, but only met him a couple of years ago when we realized we were both in the Santa Fe area and we had a number of mutual interests, and a third party put us together, and I had a chance to go over to Gene and Jane's house and have a lovely lunch and conversation, at which time I took the opportunity to ask whether there were any plans for a 50th anniversary edition of Expanded Cinema, and was a bit surprised to learn that there were none in the works. And so I jumped in because I am the series editor at Fordham University Press of a series called Meaning Systems. And this is exactly the sort of thing that we were looking for to support systems theory and cybernetics and systems thinking generally. And so as a result, the wheels were set in motion for the 50th anniversary edition of Expanded Cinema, which I'm just terribly proud of. And in this edition, there's a wonderful new preface, and there's this picture. There it is. So that's Gene with Heinz von Förster and Umberto Maturana, who are sort of the second order cyberneticists who created this turn toward the inclusion of the observer in the system to be observed. And of course, Maturana and Varela were the authors of the concept of autopoiesis. And so this was really the shared conceptual turf where Gene and I intersected, although when I caught up with Expanded Cinema sometime in the 90s, I was fascinated by the discourse of cybernetics as he had put it together for himself in the later 60s. Well, right, I mean, because it was published in 1970. So he already had a kind of utopian vision of what cybernetics could be all about. Although he called it paleo cybernetics, which was brilliant because it acknowledged that whatever the cybernetics we had at that moment, they had just been invented. The putting together of living systems and communication systems and the interplay of the organic and the technological that we're now fusing conceptually within the discourse of cybernetics. And what he was suggesting, as I understood it, was that whatever these cybernetics we have at the moment happen to be, they will evolve into something even better and no longer paleo. And so that was a really important point of contact for me. And then to learn that, which I hadn't known before, which was that, in fact, Heinz and Humberto had sought Gene out because they recognized in not just in Expanded Cinema, but in the publications Gene was putting out, also, for instance, in the Coevolution Quarterly, which was a important vehicle for putting these ideas out to a general public, that Gene's vision of the need to not to create our own reality, but to create our own mediation of the reality that we experience. That this is entirely a kind of practical application of second order cybernetics. And so what I learned from Gene was that he had then spent a number of years meditating on the concept of autopoiesis in terms of his theories of media and what in second order cybernetics is called a constructivist epistemology, which is basically what we come to know is our responsibility. Because it's not just a matter of digesting prepackaged parcels of information, although that's the way we think about it, but that's a trap that we fall into, because we still have to process those parcels and make sense. The sense-making activity is up to us. What do we do with this information? How do we put it together? So I've often thought of the secession from the broadcast concept as highly informed by this set of philosophical premises coming out of second order, or what I call in my writing neo-cybernetics, that's taken this observer-centered turn away from just technological creation of designed apparatuses. Although, of course, we call that first order cybernetics, and of course that's still super important. But philosophically, the realization of the responsibility for knowledge rests with the receiver and not with the broadcaster is absolutely crucial. That's really my statement. And Gene, and I guess I'll also just mention that while the new edition was under development, I would get quite frequent emails from Gene as he was working on his new preface, and he would want to run by me and get my opinion about the precise expression of these technical terms. So the preface there is a real contribution to the contemporary understanding of Gene's total message. And I'm just happy to have had a small part bringing that about. Okay, so thanks, Jane. Thanks, everyone. And see ya in Santa Fe. Okay, bye now.